Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Supernatural American Nightmare. And this was actually a pretty good episode in my opinion, even though it wasn't furthering the arc. It was a different kind of filler, and one that I kind of liked, because it wasn't a kind of simple kind of answer to what was going on. It was kind of more complex. So, the episode opens with this church and services going on, and then this woman walks in with stigmata, with like the wounds that Jesus had in her hands and her feet, and she's speaking in Aramaic. And as this is going on, she has lashes and everything that are going on her back, and she keeps saying this phrase over and over and falls over. So Sam and Dean come in to investigate, dressed up as priests, and they're trying to get more information. The head guy there was like, well, I can't say what's really going on because the church doesn't want me to. I'm saying demons because I saw a woman pretty much get flayed by invisible forces right before my eyes, so I'm going demon. And they're like, no, we're not trying to like call you crazy or anything. Did you see black smoke? Did you smell sulfur or anything? And I'm like, no, alright. So I kind of go off to do investigating of the woman, Olivia, who worked at Child Protective Services. Before they start going off to that, Dean, of course, checks in with Cass, trying to see if like it's a rogue angel or if it's Lucifer demons. Find out that it isn't like that at all, and that Cass and Crowley have been teaming up, and I like Dean and Sam's reaction to that. Dean talking about how Lucifer, their quick rundown of what's happened, how Lucifer's in Vince's body, and how Sam knows who Vince is, and the band stuff, and Dean's looking at him like, you crazy, man. You like that band? You like it? And Sam's like, don't judge me. Just really cool kind of stuff that's going on there. And we're also getting some fallout from Mary, getting more of an inside look at Dean's reaction to it as he's texting her, trying to figure out if what's going on with her, if she wants him to call her Mary or Mom or all that. And he's trying to figure that stuff out because he's mainly had to be with John all his life and doesn't, I think, know how to treat a mother figure. And that's kind of interesting territory and how he's like kind of hurt that she would leave like that. But Sam, of course, is trying to be that reason, like she needs her spaceman. As that's even going on through the episode where Dean, of course, is acting crankier than usual because of this. And Sam calls him out on it. And he's like, well, you shouldn't have just walked out like that. And it's like, no, she needs time to reconcile what's going on. It's like, okay, you gotta go through this because it's the whole conundrum of the brothers. They act their ways. It's like, alright, fine, I've seen the reason because someone's got to pretty much pound it into their heads. But they're kind of growing because it didn't take like all couple episodes for Dean to get that back. He pretty much figured it out with Sam's help throughout the rest of the episode. So, while that's going on, they also go to Child Protective Services, talk to Beth, who was underneath Olivia, who's also a Wiccan. So, they're talking about that and figuring out what's trying to go on. Then they get there kind of in their heads that it could be her, it could be a witch. But Sam's also kind of shooting that theory down, going, well, there were no hex bags or anything. And it's like, okay, but Dean's ready to just go and shoot her right there. It's like, Dean, calm down. Figure out what's going on. So, as that's going on, we then see that a delivery boy at a grocery store has the same thing happen to him, except in a more expedited manner, in that he just gets the flay marks pretty much, and then pretty much goes down. And it's kind of an interesting one, because this is a kind of reaction that we haven't really seen before in a kind of monster way that we haven't really dealt with before. So they're trying to figure out what did the two victims have in common, had the case files from Olivia, figured out that they both had contact with the Petersons. And they're getting information from Beth that they're very religious, they've lost their daughter, Magda, to pneumonia, and that they really just kind of keep to themselves doing their own kind of religious stuff. So they go out dressed in sweaters, which was interesting because I'm like, they do interesting costume choices for when the Winchesters are trying to do their things like their FBI, their when they've gotten other assuming covers like being priests and all that, and then being the Child Protective Services with the sweaters and everything was great. And seeing them trying to get into the property and their different kind of ways to get in. Dean trying to get over the gate and being like having trouble, and then Sam just like, dude, gets around it like, yes, are you ready? And then just walking off. It's just really good moments. So they get there, they're kind of talking everything through, and the father had been a computer programmer working 80 hours a week. The family had been really disjointed and had a lot of problems. And the mother had a car accident, and they decided to go off and live this life for God because she was having pain and everything and addicted to painkillers. And she said she heard a voice from God that doing this will take her pain away and that she'd manage. And they're doing all these buggy things. Like, they actually just use a horse and buggy kind of thing. Dean has to help him put on a wheel and everything, and kind of leave it at that. Now Sam's got it into his head that it's probably the ghost of Magda, because he brings that up, like, you should have taken her to a doctor to help her out. And she's like, no, it's God's will, and he's hammering on it, and the father tells him to leave and all that. It's like, okay, so it's either witch or ghost. And Dean's pretty much going off ready to kill Beth, and Sam goes to kind of look around on the farm and everything, and that's when we get the information that Magda is alive and has wounds on her back similar to the marks of the victims. And we learned that it's similar to a kind of Carrie situation where Magda has psychic powers, and at that point we were trying to figure out still exactly how it's going, what's going on, how she's connected to it. So we see that the mother tries to purge her of her sin, and has to do self-flagellation and all that, and speaking in Aramaic. It's like, okay, this is very similar to the victims. What's going on? Sam's looking in and all that and seeing what's going on, and then of course gets captured. And Dean was talking with Beth and figuring out that she didn't want the job, that it's a lot more work with a lot of pay, and she's got to deal with all this crap. And he's like, okay, why would you do this? Okay, alright, you're not getting what you want, so you can't be a witch doing this, so what's going on? And as Sam was calling Dean and everything, he gets the shotgun pulled on him by the son and gets whacked by the father. So he's tied downstairs in the basement and starts talking with her and finding out that she can read people's minds and make things move in her mind. She moves the cross on the altar that she's chained in front of, and he's talking about how the power doesn't control you. You control the power. That's all you got to really do. And he's trying to help her through it and talk to her as a person. And that's when the whole family gets together for dinner, and the mother has pretty much realized at this point that they're not going to be able to live the life that they want, and is kind of just getting ready to get everybody out. What do you think? Like, leave? But they do the dinner and everything, and the father eats the soup and starts choking, and at first you think Magda's killed him, but you pans out and you see that she has put rat poison in the food, so that she was going to pretty much kill her whole family so that they can be together. And she's getting ready to force her son to eat the food, and if not, pretty much stab people. So she was going for Magda first, but then the son got in front and got stabbed, and it sets off Magda, and she's about ready to make the mother stab herself. But Sam's able to talk her down and tell her to not do it, and she doesn't. And shows she's got great restraint for her power. And the only reason that the other people died was because she was trying to connect with them and speak to them telepathically, but it's probably because of the unrefinement of her control of her power that she was essentially doubling herself onto them. What I mean by that is she is taking like the wounds and what was going on in her mind and pretty much placing it and happening and making it happen to those people. That's why their brains were mush, and that's why they had the wounds that they had. Because of her focus on the religion, that's where the stigmata came from for Olivia, the flagellation, of course, with the delivery boy. So with Sam helping to kind of talk with her, she's able to get a better control of her powers. And at the end, they arrest the mother, and she's babbling and spouting, and they take her off. Sam, of course, finishes pretty much with the great power comes great responsibility thing. You control the powers, and they kind of set her on her way. Dean gets the number for the Beth chick, and everything's okay. And the episode actually doesn't end there. As they were talking to the family, the Petersons, a biker rode by and looked at the license plate and went on. And he comes into point pretty much at this, and of course, Dean got this text from his mom that her phone had died because of the charger and all that, and just wanted, she wants him to call her mom and that to send her love to Sam, showing that it's alright that she needs her space, and giving Dean kind of more hope, I think, which is awesome and cool, kind of getting him to be like, okay, I don't need to really control the situation and have everybody together to have a family. That's an important lesson, I think, for him to learn. So, we see this bus at the end that's taking Magda on her way to her aunt's, and then see the biker dude, what's going on? And figure out that it's Mr. Ketch from the British Men of Letters, and he kills her, saying that he's cleaned up the Winchester's mess. And if that's how this is going to go on, they're going to have a hard time, I think. Granted, if it's just them, if they got Cash or Crowley, of course, it's going to be a different matter. But they're not going to be happy about this, because the Winchesters, I think, have a better evened approach. Granted, they don't get it right all the time, but it's better than killing an innocent person or monster or whatnot, because some monsters aren't monsters. They can be good people, and they just have to learn to live with it. And that's the good way about the Winchester's approach to it. This British Men of Letters, it's cut and dry, black and white. You're either human or you're not. And if you've got those powers, you're not, they kill you. And that's going to be, I actually kind of like this almost kind of pared down approach. If this is what's going to be kind of, if we've got two kind of conflicts this season, we've got the Lucifer one as the kind of high level. I mean, we've dealt with this stuff before, but we can deal with it. And then this kind of low ground, kind of grounded threat of the British Men of Letters, kind of giving this season almost a kind of break from the giant world-ending cataclysms. But then again, we don't know what point it'll reach that the British Men of Letters could lead to a world-ending cataclysm thing that the Winchesters will then have to clean up, which would be an interesting twist. So we'll have to see what goes on, but I'm excited to hopefully see that the rest of the fillers kind of follow the template of this and kind of subvert expectations, since the show's been on for 12 years, and see what kind of new fresh things they can do. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.